Dispatch Radio, sponsored by theglobaldispatch.com.
Welcome back to Dispatch Radio. We are getting ready to have some fun because we finally got Bob caught up.
Oh yeah,
it's been a long time coming to get Bob on the Walking Dead bandwagon.
I am totally hooked. I'm watching reruns over and over, all fired up for Sunday night.
It's just a marathon right now on AMC, folks. It's all about Walking Dead. My wife calls it the chick drama with zombies. The zombie apocalypse is broken out. We are now headed into our 4th season as Rick and the gang have now retreated to the prison with the survivors of Woodbury, yet the governor is on the run. So we will see Sunday at 9 on AMC.
That's right. Actually, last night, AMC was showing some preview clips, some promo stuff. I'm too excited, man.
Yeah, I know. There's so much stuff to write about.
I'm like a little kid.
He is. He's finally on board. We're working on a couple other shows, trying to get him on something else. He's wandered off on me on something else, but we'll see what he can do. Keep him on. Keep him on.
Wandered off.
Keep him on task here. So we did have a great chance to talk to some folks. These are 2 actors that were cast back in season 1. So we're going to go to the first interview. This is Larry Mainland, and he will talk to you about jumping on board with Walking Dead. All right, with me now is Larry Mainland. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good today. How are you doing, Brandon?
Oh, I'm so blessed. Now, many of you probably don't recognize Larry. If you look his picture up online, whether it be Facebook or one of the other websites like IMDb, you may not recognize Larry right away. However, Larry is renowned as one of the Walking Dead zombies. Larry, you were kind of in on the ground floor back when they were casting in Atlanta in the very get-go, right?
Yeah, back before there were 100,000 people trying to be zombies.
Now they're kicking the places down to get in there and take photographs and be a part of things and whatever. And you were there in the beginning. So tell us about the original casting way back in Atlanta and all of that, because that's where you're from in that area. So tell us how you got even kind of roped into this.
Well, it was an unusual thing. Back in the beginning, nobody knew this was going to be a big deal. And basically, a friend of mine that did a little extra work on some of the other movies had written me and said, "Hey, the Walking Dead's in town." I went, "So?" And they said, they're looking for zombies. I went, "So?" He said, "Well, they're looking for skinny people, and you're the skinniest guy I know. You ought to put in for it." So I had just gotten over a very long stint with my son, who was a brain tumor survivor, and had been pretty much tied down with him for about 2.5 years, and I had a little time on my hands looking for something to do, and I figured, what the heck?
Be a zombie.
Just on the lark, I put in my information, and 2 minutes later, I got a phone call asking if I would come down and fill out paperwork, do a little audition, and go to zombie school.
Go to zombie school. We're going to get to zombie school in a minute. So you were a season 1 zombie and definitely kind of have a unique look about you and that kind of things. Now, when I met you back at one of the Comic-Cons. You go to these things pretty regularly now, but you had talked to me and you really made me laugh, and I never have forgot it. You talked about they just basically just follow the natural lines in my face.
In fact, most of the stuff, you have to understand that nowadays they're all decomposition and a lot of heavy makeup and everything. But I think what made me unique was that I guess I had a skeletal type of look back then, to where they could just fill in the shadows and follow the lines. And I used to say to Greg that I think you're cheating because you're saving time on me. And he said, absolutely. But my look was more of along the lines of the original, Night of the Living Dead type thing, to where you just look dead.
Yeah.
Not necessarily injured, decomposed, or anything like that. You just look freakily dead. And apparently it worked, because my photo was the first photo released from the set before it ever aired to be used in advertising. So I kind of got all over the place from that.
Yeah, you and Sonya Thompson, we're going to speak to as well. We're there's all sorts of nicknames for you. You're on the cover of all sorts of zombie magazines back then, the GQ zombies, because you're on GQ magazine. You're the very early press of Walking Dead, folks. So if you've seen these photos, you just don't necessarily put 2 and 2 together. We're going to have links to that and embed a couple of the photos in there so you can see. All right, so here's Larry, who doesn't have a whole lot of time on his hands and really could care less about being in zombies, has now stumbled into a career as a Walking Dead zombie. But let's go to zombie school. What was it like, and how do you sort of educate to be a zombie?
Well, basically, in the zombie school for Walking Dead, it wasn't so much to teach you to be a zombie, it was teach you to be yourself and be a zombie. What they did not want is a thriller type thing where everybody makes the same motions together.
Right.
They wanted everyone to be unique. They wanted to show you that if you have an arm injury, you favor that arm. If you have a leg injury, you favor that leg. What is your idea of what a zombie may be like? And then just go with it and flow with it. The little things like what part of your body responds to what. For instance, you hear a noise, your ear kind of perks up and moves toward it, and then your head kind of moves toward it, and then your shoulder kind of moves toward it. And I mean, everything just kind of goes in slow motion, as if you were, flipping switches of different parts of your body to respond to whatever the sound or sight may be.
And you were made up, I think, more. You told me, I think, you were made up 4 times for 4 different zombies.
Yeah, for on the set, I was made up 4 different times, and then I was made up a 5th time for the promotional photos that ended up being Sonya and I together. So many places, but 4 different zombies in the actual pilot, and I just was in the pilot. I never went into any other season. I think I was too well known, too well seen, because, like I said, I was used extensively in the advertising, and it was like, okay, then after that, we'd have to put a mask on you or put you so deep in background that it wouldn't be worth it,
Yeah. I mean, basically, your face is out there. There's no suspension of disbelief. Now you're the zombie everybody knows. So the zombie that everybody wants to have you over for dinner now, Larry.
And nobody ever killed me, so I could return. But
you basically know. You're walking the earth from Comic-Con to Comic-Con because as I see it, you have a really busy career now where you get an opportunity to go around and meet some fans and get to know people and that kind of thing. And tell us a little bit about where you're going to be headed here in the next few weeks.
Well, the next few weeks, I got a busy little schedule. I'm going to be going up to Irwin, Tennessee to help open a comic book, grand opening of a comic book store during an Apple Festival, so that ought to be interesting. And I'll be up there for a couple of days, and then after that, I'm going down to UltraCon in South Florida for a comic book show down in Fort Lauderdale. I'll be there for a few days, and from there, I'm going to a haunted house in Auburn, Illinois. Sonya and I'll be there together, called the Haunted R Theater in Auburn, Illinois. It's a rather well-known haunt up there. And then I take a break for a while because I just came back from one, Twisted Fears, here in Atlanta. So it's been busy. And after that, I'm taking a break till my birthday and the first weekend of December, December 7th, in fact. 6th, 7th, and 8th will be at Yamacon in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and that's going to wind me up for the year. I'm going to kind of take it easy after that a little bit.
I'm on the phone with Larry Mainland. We're revisiting a lot of the early days on AMC's The Walking Dead and his casting in the pilot as a zombie who appeared basically 4 different ways and that kind of thing. It's just a fascinating story. He has some other great roles and really one that I love. And I think you got cut out of the final cut on Contagion. But when I met Larry, we go from Walking Dead conversation to Contagion conversation. And Larry's big transition with me was he pulled out a hat. Now I'm the Contagion zombie, and he just cracked me up to no end. I never have forgotten that either, Larry. So, didn't make the final cut of Contagion though.
No, but I made the residual checks, and that's the important part.
There you go. I think you're in the trailer. I think we watched one of the trailers or one of the TV spots. I think you're in that early marketing part of that, so to speak. A couple of the other projects that you've been in, tell me a little bit about what it's like. You were in Level Up, you were a ghoul in that. I think you were in Sick People and some other roles like that. What are the other kind of things that you've been able to enjoy and work on?
One of my favorite was Level Up. It's a Cartoon Network movie that ended up turning into a TV show. Unfortunately, they took the TV show to Vancouver to have it filmed. But the movie itself was filmed here in Atlanta, and we had a ball doing that with the kids. But the ghoul look to me is one of the best looks I've ever had. Andre Freitas did the makeup on it, and he did an awesome job. But I really look creepy in that one. But from there, like you said, Contagion, which was a great run. I wish I could have. I wish they'd put out a DVD that has the outtakes in it because I want to see that scene. It was with Lawrence Fishburne, and a real great close-up of me draping across his car, scaring him to death through the window. And I was looking forward to that, but unfortunately I'm a hat that goes by in a blur, as it turns out. And but then they made up for it. I was in the Three Stooges, the new movie, The Three Stooges. Mm-hmm. It came out a couple years ago, and it even scared me because they told me they were doing close-ups. I don't want to divulge what I was in, other than I'm in a hospital scene. And the camera, of course, was across the room, but I didn't realize that when I came on screen, it was my face covering the entire screen.
Yep.
And it scared the tar out of me.
Larry scared himself, folks.
Yeah, it wasn't scary. It was just, oh, my gosh, that's big.
LarryMainland.com. You can check out information there. Larry's actually a pretty devout, active member of Facebook. So if you track down Larry Mainland, we'll put a link there to his page. You can follow Larry as well on Facebook. Larry is just a character. And if you have not had a chance to meet him at one of these Comic-Cons, mark your calendar and catch up with him. He's a really, really great guy and a fun guy, and I've enjoyed meeting him and look forward to seeing you again. Larry, thank you again for taking time out of your schedule. Be safe in your travels, and God bless.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Larry. Tell you what, Larry is a fun guy, man. I could talk to Larry, too. We actually have been keeping in touch over the couple of years now since the show began through Facebook and that kind of thing. And it's really pretty cool when you start to get into some of the behind-the-scenes stuff about how long they spend in makeup and that kind of thing. So I do have another interview coming up here with Sonya Thompson, but I do want to give folks one last chance. If you're interested in joining us for the Fifth Estate, we have a sneak preview coming out. That's October 15th. It's Tuesday night, 7:30 at the AMC West Shore. If you want to call in, 727-441-3000, 1-866-826-1340. I have a few pairs of tickets left. You want to grab one of those for yourself and join us that night. For each one is worth for you and a friend. So feel free to call in, 727-441-3000. So let's jump to our other Walking Dead zombie talk. We were able to catch up with Sonya Thompson. She is another zombie from the Walking Dead. All right, with me on the phone now is Sonya Thompson. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so blessed. Thank you so much for fitting us in. Now, many of you may not recognize or know the name Sonya Thompson, but she is one of the very first AMC Walking Dead zombies. She came in kind of on the ground floor before it took off and exploded into television's #1 show. So, Sonya, you kind of were in the Georgia area, I believe, as they were kind of recruiting people to be zombies and all of that, but you actually were, I don't know, made up several times. So tell us about the very early days and how you even kind of came aboard on the project.
Well, I've been acting for quite some time, so it's just another project for me. I had a audition for Zombieland the year before, and it got in that role. And then the next year, my agent had submitted me for the role of Lori, but my hair's a little shorter than what it is in the comic book, so I'm pretty sure that's the reason my chances are slim for that. And then the casting agency that got me the audition for Zombieland contacted me and let me know that I had been chosen as a walker on The Walking Dead. So at least I was familiar with it because I had already been submitted for the role of Lori and auditioned for that. Like I say, it was just another acting thing. As far as being multiple walkers, I was pretty much the same walker all year long in season 1 because they had me stationed downtown, but they did change my makeup each time as my character developed. Season 2, I played multiple walkers, one being the only female military walker at the FEMA camp in season 2 in episode 2. And in episode 3, I was a different walker. And then at the last 2 weeks of filming at the barn scene and breaking through the fence and all that, they made me up a little bit different too there.
How long did it take? I don't know, just any of the scenarios. What's the average time it takes to get the makeup and to transform into one of the dead walkers?
It's an hour and a half to 2 hour process, and it just depends. It really just depends on how much they've got to do to you that day. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, guys. I've had the sinus headache and stuff for 2 days.
Oh, it's okay. Thanks for fitting us in. It's okay.
I just hate the fact I'm so raspy today. It just depends on how many prosthetics that they have and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
for you that day.
Now, the original role that you played also kind of granted you kind of a leadership role there in the, quote, zombie schools, as I've come to understand them.
Well, I don't know so much about that. Not through The Walking Dead anyway. I mean, Walking Dead had a zombie school. But I was also a zombie trainer on the Zombieland training video. If you have the DVD of Zombieland, you can fast forward over to rule number 3, and you'll see me making faces and doing things. And I was part of the training video that every zombie walker, every zombie in Zombieland had to watch. But I do my own. I developed my own zombie academy, which has nothing to do with AMC or The Walking Dead or Zombieland or anything like that. I've done other zombie roles and other projects like Night of the Jackals and some little zombie gigs here and there. I do zombie consulting on movies and films and commercials. So what I do is I took everything that I learned in researching to be a zombie, and I developed a zombie workbook. And so I give that to my students in these zombie workshops and stuff.
So there's some folks right now listening that are probably just in shock. They didn't realize, number one, there wasn't even a zombie school, but we've now incorporated the fact that there's educational material, there's zombie workbooks, there's all sorts of things to do. That's how big this has become. And not that The Walking Dead is solely responsible. That Zombieland actually, coincidentally happening very simultaneously, contributed to that as well, and you were part of both projects. I'm talking to Sonya Thompson. She was part of The Walking Dead in its early phases. Of course, that premieres October 13th. So there's a lot of that talk and that kind of thing. So, Sonya, you're very active on Facebook and a lot of the different projects that you're on and that kind of thing. Catch us up on a couple of the other things that you've been doing here, because I know that you were on a Past Life. I think you had a role on there. It's one of the TV shows. There's another one up in, I believe, Lumber Baron. Do I have that one right?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me on that one. But tell me a little bit about these other roles that you've been able to do.
Well, on Past Life, they actually canceled the series on Fox right before my 2 episodes were supposed to air. I was a throw-up ghost, and it doesn't have that on there, but I was a ghost, and they asked me to throw up on camera, and they asked me to do it in one take, and I did, and it was a really neat role that I never got to see and nobody else ever got to see, which is unfortunate because it was a big role. And then the Lumber Baron, I play a redneck tomboy named Sam, and I'm also a dog trainer. And it's a funny little comedy series, and it's really one of the most fantastic roles. I just enjoy doing that role, and it's just real country. I mean, you just can't get no down-home country than that is. And so anyway, I enjoy being able to act like a redneck. And some of the other projects that will be coming out, there's a project that's not on IMDb, but it's gotten a lot of buzz. It's called Prosper, and it's a witch cult-based movie. It comes out in November, and it's only got over 47,000 views on YouTube. So be sure to check out the movie trailer for Prosper. And I've only got a couple of scenes in that, but I got to tell you, I couldn't even finish reading the script. It was pretty dang scary. So I printed out my lines, studied my lines, did my thing. I don't even know how it ends. We're still trying to get All Hallows Evil distributed. I play a librarian named Victoria in that, and that's a Halloween-based movie. Cry for Revenge, I directed on. It's a grindhouse movie with Christina Lindbergh, and from what I hear, I think it's going to be opening overseas in the Netherlands and also Switzerland over that way. And then there's This Old Machine. I'm still waiting on it to come out. I thought it'd be out this year, but it might be early next year before it comes out. And it's got Lance Henderson, Kevin Sorbo, and Dee Wallace in it. And I play a motel clerk named Flo in that one.
Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna get the link from you. You have to email it to me through Facebook. There, the link for the Prosper trailer. We'll link to that from our website. Sonya Thompson talking Walking Dead, and when you first came on board with these projects, even Zombieland, I mean, there's no way that you would have fathomed they would become as popular as they are now. And now you're touring around. You've gone to a lot of Comic-Cons. I know I met you at one, and there's all sorts of things going on. So give me a little heads up on some of the different shows and things that you have coming up over the next couple of months.
Oh, we have a little charity event going on in Auburn, Illinois at a haunted theater up there. And I think it's October 17th, 18th, somewhere right in there. And then I'll be at Spooky Empire the weekend of October 25th. And so I'm doing a Maysville Autumn Leaf Festival this weekend. It's in Maysville, Georgia, a little rural area up here. And I'll be doing some of my arts and stuff for that. I'm an artist as well. But I will have some pictures on hand if anybody wants to buy one with my autograph. And then I got a couple gun shows in November and YamaCon in December. So that's about all coming up for the rest of the year.
Definitely a busy time, that's for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely be linking to, we'll get some of the photos up there too, some of the amazing transformations that you've had in these roles and that kind of thing. And we appreciate your time to be able to squeeze in a little brief snapshot of what it's like behind the scenes of a show as big as Walking Dead and the different zombies. I think some folks I was talking to before we did the interviews was they didn't realize that you guys played so many different zombies, or at least in your case, one that was sort of decaying on screen. They think these things are happening. The action kind of consumes that, and you're basically like transforming on screen. They don't even realize that through the whole season that's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sonya. Do hope you feel better, and we'll have to hook up and talk again a little bit more about some of these the great and exciting stories and tales behind the scenes and this kind of stuff. I thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brent. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless.
Great interviews, bro. Great
That's fantastic. Still no word on who's cutting the grass on Walking Dead because, if you've watched the show, it's rather manicured.
Rick does it after hours.
That's it, man. They got behind the scenes. There's like this whole fleet of lawn service cares that are going around and taking care of all the properties on Walking Dead. So, well, I'm glad you really have enjoyed season 3. What are you looking forward to the most as we head into Sunday's show? Because the cool thing about it is now we have, number one, we have a couple characters that are going to be on full time. So we talked about that too. Tyrese and that those that survived Woodbury are now going to be in the prison too. So you got all those folks.
I think the thing I'm most curious about is what happens with the governor. He's a very, very shady, slimy character and worse than Shane ever was. And,
Bob has no patience for these other characters. He always tells me, hey, Shane's got to go. He gets to season 3. Governor's got to go. Yeah, he has no patience. You don't want to be around Bob during the zombie apocalypse because if he has an issue with you, you're going to last about 2.5 minutes. He has no patience, no tolerance for anything.
I'll do like Rick did when he was with that guy in the prison, man. He said, that's a wrap, man.
That's a wrap. Yeah, that's a wrap. All right. So are there any other shows that you're watching or anything like that, really? No?
Well, I just started the sequence of Breaking Bad. I finished the pilot, and I've tried episode 2 times now, and I fell asleep both times, so I'll give it third time's a charm.
Third time's a charge. All right.
Yeah.
So we're looking ahead to Tuesday night. We got the Ben Batch movie. We have The Fifth Estate. Join us out there, West Shore AMC. It's at 7:30. If you don't have tickets, you can contact us through theglobaldispatch.com. There's a page there where you can shoot a comment over, see if we have any tickets left. We're running close on the clock here for that to be up. We're excited about that, though. And, of course, next Saturday, 7:30, Outbreak News of the Week. Bob's going to be catching everybody up.
Yep, going to be an exciting show. You'll love every second of it.
Yep, if you don't know what dengue fever is, start watching Bob's show, listen to Bob's show, and you will definitely come out of it nicknaming him, as our engineer does, the Amoeba Man. That got his attention.
It's a badge of honor.
Did all zombies start out on the Dukes of Hazzard by any chance?
Well, it's filmed in Georgia, so they film it. They actually film it. Centers in Georgia, but they actually film it there in the suburbs of Georgia.
Oh, so that's why it sounds like they're from the Dukes of Hazzard.
They are definitely from the Dukes of Hazzard. They're definitely country folk, and they.
But it sounds neat though.
Well, it's completely unique. I think that's part of the appeal to the show was they didn't pick the stereotype zombie outbreak that you see in a lot of other movies. It's like it's in the country. They spent season 2 on a farm,
and so she really actually threw up on film.
Well, I don't know the details of that. I was not going to dive into the throw up gross on the resume is enough for me.
That'll be in the follow-up interview.
Yeah, we'll have to get her on again. She would be on again. We can make sure I jot that down for Bill wants to know.
Get her on with Bob for his new show.
Well, Walking Dead is based on some kind of a
viral outbreak. Disease, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Contagion, World War Z. We can tie all these things into Outbreak News.
As a matter of fact, the CDC actually has a page just about the.
Yeah, there's a zombie page on the CDC website. Yeah, the government has been chastised a couple of times for speaking out on Walking Dead, zombie outbreaks, those kinds of things. So,
what about that new zombie commercial? It's for a phone.
Geico.
Is that the Geico one?
Is it Geico or is it a phone where the chunk? I'm not as. He's like, whoa, don't use names. That a piece of his cheek falls off or his ear falls off, and I'm a zombie.
Yeah, he says don't put labels on.
Oh, that's Progressive.
Progressive. Okay. Yeah. And then, right. Well, of course, AMC's Walking Dead has been huge at Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights. I mean, it's a massive theme. You go there, they have the RV and the whole campground there, bro. You just put on your slippers and feel right at home. All right. Well, join us next Saturday, 7:30. Outbreak News in the Week. Dispatch Radio at 8. Thank you so much. Check out theglobaldispatch.com. Catch yourself up on what's going on in the world.
Have a great weekend.
Street lights that guide you home. I'll be the GPS when you've lost your...
Hi, my name is Robert Harriman, and I am the host of Outbreak News This Week, a radio arm of theglobaldispatch.com. The show is going to be a weekly digest of the latest and most important news related to infectious diseases, whether it be foodborne illnesses, influenza, or parasites, whatever's hot in the news that week. In addition, I'll have fantastic guests from health officials from all levels of government, NGOs, and academia. Outbreak News This Week will